Hey up Sofa Squad, and we are live, back with another on the sofa 61, and we've got Brain Sample, Godless Sewing, and Jenny Morgan is with us as well.
Why, hello, Jenny.
Hello, Will. How are you?
I'm great. Now, I'm picturing myself peeing on a surfboard and being eaten by a shark. Because if there was a shark underneath me, I think I'd probably pee in my wetsuit. And I would
now I'm picturing you peeing on a fucking surfboard.
Oh, you pee in your wetsuit, you just stay warmer. That's all.
I have what I can't even say it because it's politically incorrect, but I have a short sleeve wetsuit, but it's called something else.
Okay.
Rhymes with beater.
Yeah. So if you niterate in that thing, it'll leak out the side. With that being said,
only half a body glove.
Well, I used to have a wetsuit. I used to be a diver.
Oh, awesome. When I lived in Oregon, I had a thermal suit, and that was an experience.
Talk about a place to pee.
Yeah. So, Jenny, have you been with us on the sofa before?
No, never have. I've watched you a bunch of times.
So, this is your first time with us.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's been an interesting week.
Welcome.
Well, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you. It's a pleasure to have you with us. And have you been following what's been happening this week in British politics?
No, I know that everything's in just absolute uproar with Bojo and all those other losers bailing out, and the Truss bitch looks like she's going to become PM and all sorts of other horrid things, but not specifically, no.
You sound a bit crackly.
Sorry?
You sound a bit you're cracking up.
Oh, okay. Well, I may not have a good connection. All I have to be on is my phone, and I don't have Wi-Fi or anything like that.
Oh, right. Okay.
Before I forget, I totally missed the chance to post an old Battlestar Galactica Final 5 meme because they said the Final 5 so many times on Sky News. It reminded me of Battlestar Galactica. And I was like, oh, curse, it'd be 3 o'clock in the morning.
But yeah, so we're down to the last two. It's Rishi versus Lizzie.
I wrote that Rishi some nasty tweet yesterday.
Am I wrong for rooting for the brown guy?
I'm rooting for his wife.
They're all corrupt. To put this in American terms, this is like the Republican Party gets to pick who the president is. It's not, the people are not choosing. These are the same shrubs that are on his side who recently voted to keep him in office until October.
Yes.
So you should have no confidence in any of these people whatsoever.
No, but it's been put up until now. It's been the MPs who have been voting, but now it's been put to the grassroots members of the Conservative Party, so it's going to take another month or so. But we should know the results by the 5th of September.
Now, when you say the grassroots folks, you mean people who are not office holders, who are just party members?
Yeah, they're just regular party members.
Okay.
So
it's up to them now.
Everybody gets a vote, basically.
Yeah, everybody in the Conservative Party who's a member of the Conservative Party. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things I don't like about the parliamentary system. If they're going to have an election for the top dog, both sides should be choosing it. Just I don't know.
Yeah, well,
we
yeah,
barely
exactly.
have that.
But we didn't, the general public didn't get to choose when Theresa May first became prime minister.
Mm-hmm.
It was, but then she narrowly got in with a vastly reduced majority in 2017, and we all know what happened to her. She got ousted by Boris Johnson.
But she had much more class because she was told to leave and she left.
Yeah.
My bowling shoes have more class than Boris.
But Boris Johnson, on the other hand, got a whacking great majority. He got an 80-seat majority, but he blew it. He's blown it in less than 2 years because there's just been scandal after scandal after scandal.
And then he literally parties at Checkers. Was that last weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah, like sometimes you have to read between the lines. That was Boris Johnson telling everybody to go stuff themselves.
Yeah. He's basically just phoning it in now. And
how do you guys come upon electing a new PM from the other party, the opposition party? How does that gross election happen, and why isn't it happening now?
Well, we can only vote for another prime minister. The general public can only vote for the next prime minister every 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So the next general election isn't until 2024. That's when we can all vote, and it's looking like the Labour Party will probably win, or it will be a Hun Parliament, and we'll probably end up with a Labour/Lib Dem coalition, probably.
So I have kind of a weird question. Excuse me. So now that we know that Rishi Sunak is 5'3", 5'4", and that Liz Truss is like 5'6", do you guys have really short camera people in the UK? Because on television, Rishi seems like a giant.
Hold their cameras like this.
He looks huge, and Liz Truss. I am 5'9", and I wear cowboy boots because I feel short. So I'm like 5'10"-ish when I have my shoes on.
They do make you look butch.
Yeah. But Liz Truss looks tall.
Yeah.
And she's only she's like 5'6". It's so weird to me. It's so weird to me. In America, they'll expose you for your height. They will.
And of course, she's been cosplaying as Margaret Thatcher.
It's weird. I'm gonna say this. She reminds me of when Amber Heard was imitating Johnny Depp's outfits in court. It's weird. It's weird. It's just weird. Like you're not giving me vibes. You're just weird.
Yeah, it doesn't actually look human.
No, see, this is the shitty thing when you steal an original's style. Like, sorry, like she was the first, to make it famous, to make that,
Yeah, but I think it could be. This is just a theory that I have, but I think it could be her team of advisors or whatever, her spin doctors, are telling her to dress like Margaret Thatcher deliberately to get into the minds of the members of the Conservative Party that she's the next, just like Jesus was the new Moses, she's the new Margaret Thatcher.
She was anti-EU. She was like, do we need to read the list again of Margaret Thatcher? Like, so all I can hear, "Good night, Billie Jean." All I hear is that song. I think of Margaret Thatcher. God, I'm old. Sorry.
Is there any chance that since they hate the EU so much, they'll also decide that they hate NATO and just go alone on that too?
No, we're all becoming so radicalized, And Liz Truss is playing on that, like, oh, everybody wants to be like like Maggie. Let's remember how, hey, nerdy, let's remember how your country was when she, what she inherited, the problems that were going on.
Yes.
It was like New York in the 70s. It was nowhere that you wanted to be. But we forget that because we have short memories,
Yeah.
I'm concerned about Liz Truss because of her. If they put her into office, they've put like the number one foe of the entire transgender community to be running everything. This is the worst possible thing that could happen for transgender people.
There's a huge trans moral panic happening in certainly here in the UK, and I guess in the States as well.
It's more of a nebulous panic because they point towards specific cases and say, oh, all so and so are like this. In the UK, they'll just randomly be like, oh, what's a woman? And then when someone doesn't give them a snappy answer, they trash them for it.
Yeah.
They don't do that here.
Gotchas.
Yeah, they don't do that here. Like you wouldn't people pretty much know where you're coming from. If you're talking to an announcer, unless it's just some random street, someone from your local news team, they know where you're coming from.
Yeah. Nerdy Rodent says loads of conservatives are anti-trans. It's why they call us Turf Island.
Yeah, I just thought it was weird. I'll tell you honestly, because I don't sleep at night, so I stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning watching this crap every night. I thought it was a really rando question. Nobody was talking about the LGBTQIA plus community at all, and then they just start throwing in gotchas to specific people.
Yeah,
But
they asked Penny Mordaunt what a woman is,
and where is she now?
The thing is, she used to be pro the trans community. She said in the House of Commons, a trans woman is a woman. But I think what happened was the right side of the far right side of the party put pressure on her to change her views if she wants to be the next leader of the Conservative Party. So she did a whole Twitter thread explaining her stance, saying that yes, I'm biologically a woman, but I'm also legally a woman. So
fuck off.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You see that 747 fly over my head.
That term, I am biologically a woman. That is a dog whistle to people who are to TERFs basically.
Yeah,
she's legally a fucktard.
Again, see. Yeah. They're doing the same thing here. I consider it like almost a distraction story because they don't want to say like, hey, everyone's broke, but you guys fight amongst yourselves.
That's always the thing though.
Why the country is doing this?
We spent 4 years under Trump with Trump saying, look, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give everybody that makes the amount of money that I say that I make a tax break. And you're all gonna support that on the notion that someday one of those people might be one of you. And I'm going to hump the back of every one of your heads as I tell you how great it is to have you agree with me.
So true. Ugh.
Yeah.
The problem with the TERFs, and it's happening here too, the exact same dynamics, is you'll get these people who will go to try and trap a legislator or a media person or a advocate of the community. And they'll say that this question, well, what is a woman? It is that nobody can answer that correctly because there is no absolute correct answer for it.
In the U.S.,
And
they
they
keep
know
asking
that.
a gay man that question, and that's not a good idea.
I hope
Yeah.
they don't ask me that
And
question.
they
I'm
know,
always
and it's used purely as a gotcha to make
Yeah.
everybody look dumb except them, because then they come back with their definition of how to answer that question, and it has nothing to do with reality.
Yeah.
But they still have a snappy response ready, and so people, oh yeah, okay, sure. You know,
Yeah,
it's
I would love to answer your question, but I have to ask you first. What's conservative?
a kind of a Nazi-like person with a big stick up their ass.
Remember when they used to have principles? What was that 20?
No,
25
I'm
years
pretty,
ago?
pretty much forgot those days
Yeah,
now.
that was a long fucking time ago. Remember Dick Lugar before he got? Never mind.
Look, Duke, no, never mind.
Yeah, there was some of that went around.
But both my brothers were consider themselves to be conservatives, or rather conservative with a small c. But they both they're both we've talked about this quite a lot, and they both say that the current Tory party are not conservatives.
Yeah, we have the same problem.
And they're just not. They're not conservatives. They don't have any conservative values. They don't have conservative morals or any kind of morals, for that matter. And they don't. And what are they trying? What are they conserving? They're not conserving money. They've tripled the national debt since getting into power.
Yeah, we get that too. Every time we elect a fucking Republican, they tell us they're going to do one thing, and then they do the exact opposite. And you keep saying, you know what? I'm going to vote for another one of those motherfuckers because they did exactly what they said they were going to do.
sorry, I'm a bit lost. What are these morals that you speak of?
Yeah.
Politicians and morals?
When did those exist?
Sorry.
But anyway, we're gonna talk about. We're mainly going to talk about Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak. But first, we're going to talk about how the leadership race became a bit of a farce. If I can find the story now. Oh, here. Yeah,
It's
here we
just
go.
weird to me. Like, if you asked the Republicans to pick a president, we would have Turtle as the president, McConnell. It just seems weird to me.
And what's even funnier about that is the Turtle has a sort of a ambiguous sexuality about him.
That's an insult. That's an insult to ambiguous people.
Really changes him to Pat.
On behalf of all ambiguous people, that's insulting.
Did anyone see the Tory leadership debate on ITV?
I did. I stayed up all night to watch that.
I saw some highlights of somebody had just put like single words that everybody said together, and it was mwah.
Honestly, it's a bit of a train wreck.
Yeah,
and it's kind of hard to watch. Like, I'd rather watch PMQs because.
Sorry, go on.
No, it's just it was hard to watch. It was really cringy.
Can we get him on the set of Big Question and ask him big questions?
Yeah,
because like I say, there are such disastrous things going on in the UK, just like America, that they're asking these really stupid questions. So I'm yelling at my phone. I'm like, "Are you kidding me? You care about this?" Like I said, it's just stupid, nebulous questions.
Yeah. But I am sick of all this blue on blue crime.
Yeah. Do you think they canceled the Sky News debate because Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss were like literally about to go to blows? Like they
were tearing chunks out of each other. but Nerdy Rodent says I liked the infighting, and there was a lot of that. I think it was Liz Truss who said to Rishi Sunak, if you've got all these good ideas for how to fix the economy, why didn't you implement them 2 years ago when you became Chancellor?
I was snapping like this. Like, you know, that's the thing, because it's the truth, though. It's the truth.
Yeah.
And they know it because they're the ones who are destroying the country. That's why I can't
Yeah.
watch this. I'm like, isn't it you? Aren't you in charge?
I think Rishi Sunak said to Liz Truss, weren't you pro the EU a few years ago? But and she didn't have a very good answer for that, because she was, before the referendum, she in the run up to the referendum, she was campaigning for Remain, because she thought that that's where the wind was blowing at the time.
And
then
now
when-
she's sorry, go ahead.
But then when people voted yes, and they want to leave the EU, all of a sudden she became a Brexiteer,
Exactly.
because that's where the wind was blowing. She's
now-
a career politician, and
She's a
Rishi
hardline. Sorry, she's a hardline
Rishi-
Brexiter now.
yeah. And so Rishi Sunak kind of pointed that out, but it made me laugh because all this infighting that we saw in this debate, it showed they proved that the Tories have been messing things up all this time. It just showed how badly they've been doing.
How is and this is just a poll that I saw last night. How is she winning over Rishi Sunak?
I think, and I'm just going to stop sharing this. But I was getting my groceries earlier today, and I took a brief look at the front pages of the tabloids, and most of them seem to be backing Liz. So most of the Sky News seem to be pushing Liz over Rishi as well.
Well, Sky News is super.
I have a question and point to make. If what your people who are running around, Liz and Rishi, were in America running for president, she would win over him because he's a person of color. Is that dynamic there in UK as well?
That's a good question. That's the question that I've been wondering. Are the Conservative Party ready for a person of color to be their leader?
When I saw Rishi and Sajid Javid and everybody else running, I was surprised they were even. When I saw the final four, I was like, "Wow, we might get a PM with some color."
Yeah.
So I'm shocked that Rishi Sunak has even made it this far. I've thought that since the jump.
That is by far the biggest difference between conservatives in the UK and conservatives in the US.
Yeah.
First, it was all Republicans could do to put a completely incapable woman justice on the Supreme Court, just so they could say, "Look, we put a woman on the court too." Well, yeah, she has no fucking business being there. She's never been a judge before, and now she's a Supreme Court justice. Well done. Really, that's really what this country needs, is more of that bullshit.
Yeah, but the Tories were saying, look how diverse we are as a party.
Meanwhile, the United States is all just white dudes.
Well, the reason I brought it up was because during the whole Brexit thing and that whole campaign, it as an American who was watching from outside, and I have to admit, it was not a huge amount of detail, but I tried to pay attention fairly well, I think, for a typical American. It seemed to be such a racist battle, that Brexit was all about immigrants and people of color and culture, and these people are taking us over, like some big mystical plot. Yeah, and so
you're bringing me back, Jenny, because the cry was demographics. Look at the demographics.
Yeah.
We're being ruined.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite part of my sociology degree was demographics. 'cause
That
it's so
same
easy to fuck with
BS,
those.
that same BS cry is happening right now in America.
Yeah.
And I have to say, if you feel disenfranchised, take a look around at your neighbors. They
Welcome.
probably reflect exactly who and what you are. Like,
Welcome.
Yeah. But it was mainly about immigration
mhm.
because they wanted the the racists to vote. They wanted all the racists to vote Brexit basically. And
Weird.
there was that famous or infamous poster that Nigel Farage put up, saying with all the all the people on it, all saying that I can't remember what the slogan was, but warning people that look at all these dirty looking foreigners, they're all going to come over here unless we leave the EU.
Nigel Farage is the same man who will set up a camera and yell at the ocean.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
I still to this day, I don't know why I click on his videos. I guess I have a morbid fascination, but I'm like, he is literally an old man yelling at the ocean because
Yeah.
immigrants come on that ocean. So he stands there and yells at the ocean.
Yeah, he's got a hard on for the White Cliffs of Dover as well.
Hey, who doesn't?
And I agree with Nerdy. What Nerdy is saying, like, I'm not saying that the entire Conservative Party is racist at all. They actually do they have more people of color than the other side?
I don't know, but that's
Maybe in leadership positions or potential leadership positions.
But that's
Well, Boris Johnson brought in his friends and bootlickers. I would too. All politics, like, you kiss my butt, I'll bring you in. Hey, man,
Yeah,
you
if I
been
had
bootlickers?
sycophants, I'd be all about.
Yeah.
but that's almost not the point because the thing is their policies are racist.
Uh-huh.
Especially this whole sending refugees and asylum seekers to Rwanda. That's a racist policy, and so
Is this where it's inappropriate to say anything about people coming from a culture where the caste system was kind of?
See, but that's the thing. Priti Patel, under her own policy, her parents would have been kicked out. I don't get people like
kind
that.
of exactly what I was leaning towards. Was
Get it. I don't get it.
I don't think. I mean, because they spent so much time as British citizens. Jesus, since what, the 20s, something like that.
Yeah.
That so there's a certain. It's a little bit like the United States electing a Hawaiian in that regard. It's just well, they don't look like us, but they've been like us for a long time, so they're okay.
Well, it's like, we did flat out steal Hawaii.
Well,
we were just like, we're moving here and never leaving.
Look, they had a king. We can't let people have kings, even if they vote for it, which was, I mean,
in modern day terms, we call that theft.
Yeah, well, a bunch of them did vote for it, just not enough.
Like I said, bootlickers.
The other dynamic that I see, that I'm wondering if it's the same in the UK is, in America, I don't know how well you know this stuff, Mike. Every 2 years, all the people in the House of Representatives are reelected. Okay, they have 2-year terms. Everybody every 2 years. The Senate is are 1/3 one year, 2 years later another third, 2 years later another third get reelected. So there's staggering and stuff. This year, well, I noticed this first at the last election, the Congress election, that I noticed that there was a few races where in the primaries the conservatives seem to be arguing against each other as to who can be the meanest person, to marginalize people and that sort of thing. And this year it seems like the entire party argument in primaries and stuff is like that, and that's beginning to project onto the general election. That they're picking little instances of American life and culture and pointing it out as if these are the horrible things that the Democrats have done. When in reality it's just what America's about,
They
Yeah.
actually do that in the UK. Stool tags me all the time with the woke watch. They do the same thing in the UK. Exact
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Speaking
They
of
blame it on the
Stool,
woke
he is
woke left.
Well, I mean, I'm specifically their campaign platforms seem to dog whistle. I am the meaner person. You should elect me because I'm the
Yeah.
meanest.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
they like, and the thing that scares me too is that they'll say like, "I won't be scared by the woke mob or all of that." Like,
Yeah.
You are the woke mob, you prick.
so with Sunak, is he vowing to fast track Brexit? Basically,
Well, he says he's made this bold claim that he's vowing to scrap all the EU red tape in 100 days.
Right. Because that's a thing.
The thing is,
It's going so well. Why not?
yeah, Boris Johnson failed to do that. So what makes him think that he'll be able to? He'll be able to succeed where Boris Johnson failed. And but the thing is, it's a stupid thing to say because if the so-called red tape is on the EU side, he doesn't really have the power to get rid of that because we've left the EU. So we don't really have the clout to be able to tell them to get rid of their own red tape.
I wonder all the time.
It's so fucking funny.
Do people in your country know that you guys don't have the same standing that you did like 40 or 50 years ago? Because like as Americans, we're slowly
Yeah.
starting to realize how broke our country is.
Mm.
Slowly.
Broken. We still got cash. We're just broken.
Pick a direction. We're broken.
Yeah.
You know?
I like Jared's breaking.
No, because like the BBC has a news station in every country. Tell me a country where the BBC isn't besides China or Russia.
I don't know.
They have
the
BBC.
There's the World Service, isn't
Yeah,
there?
I don't live
Yeah, yeah. The BBC is everywhere, you know,
Yeah.
and that's a remnant of the old empire.
Yeah.
Jesus. I just had a real pothead fucking moment that savoir-faire is everywhere.
That's what needs to happen. Is France needs to take over the UK.
Yeah,
Or like
no greater savior in the world than France.
like Jamaica is still part of the Commonwealth. If you commit a federal crime, you have to appear before someone in England. You know.
Well, I was saying the last time that I'm fairly certain that the Queen has some kind of pull in Canadian Parliament. I just can't remember what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it everywhere up until Quebec though?
Well,
Well, her picture is still on some of their money, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
oh, it's
Yeah.
on all of their bills.
Yeah.
She used to be She used to be the face on all their coins too, but they changed that.
Technically, they've fought in every world war. Canada, they take the call.
Yeah.
But in
They
modern
I respect Canada.
in modern terms, Canada works with us though because we do exercise with them all the time. Like I've said this a million times. I sang a British tar from the HMS Pinafore in front of some weird obscure Canadian ship, and everybody clapped. They're like, "This guy's either on drugs or he knows the song,
I can
or
remember.
both, or both."
We were taking the train from San Diego to the border, and
Mm.
rather we were taking it back. We'd come back from Tijuana, and
Oh,
we
I
were
know that
taking the train back into San Diego. And there's this kid on the train who is just obliterated, just barely able to speak, can't stand up. Turns out he's in the Canadian Navy, and the rest of us are drunk enough that was the funniest fucking thing we'd heard that day.
But the
We ended up having to help this kid get back to his fucking base. There were U.S. Navy personnel on the fucking train that weren't willing to take this fucker back to them. Like, come on.
But the
He's like
Tory
19.
MPs keep coming on the news and saying Brexit is done. Boris got Brexit done.
How?
No, he didn't.
How? This is another thing that drives me mentally insane. Where I'm like, how? Show me proof. Show me proof. How?
And,
Everything is effed. And
Kemi Badenoch, when on that debate, she said, Brexit is done. We need to move on from Brexit. I am sick and tired of people banning on about Brexit. And I thought, what? Really? Brexit is done, is it? I mean, so what about the Northern Ireland Protocol?
exactly.
Are you just going to hope that just goes away? It just
And unless
resolves
I'm mistaken, we have to sign trade agreements all the time now.
I was about to say, you guys now have trade agreements with everybody except the EU. You got about 6 or 7 with us, and we in America is Satan. If there is a real, you don't want to do a deal with
Well,
America.
I can remember thinking that it was a really bad idea to time Brexit while we had Trump as president, because there's no way that anybody's getting a lenient deal from Trump. Boy, was I fucking wrong. What an idiot I was for thinking that he was an actual capable businessman, because I fucking knew better, and I still said it. I
Did you
just
guys
assumed
ever?
that he was going to be so xenophobic that he wasn't going to let anybody interfere with anything that he had. Fucking, I'm an idiot. That's all I learned, is that I'm a fucking idiot.
Did you ever get the trade deal with Australia for beef? Because you don't want American meat. We literally have slurry that comes from our food when you cook it. Like, you don't want American food.
Chlorinated chicken.
That's just ground beef, and that's the what do they call it? Pink meat? Isn't that what it's called? Pink.
Yeah,
I think it was called pink meat.
It
Wasn't meat. It wasn't meat, but it was pink, and it was
pink slime.
That's what it is. Pink slime.
Okay,
it had to be called meat because it wasn't something else, so it's meat.
But you can cook it and eat it. But as someone who's had food in the UK and cooked, they don't have pink slime on their beef.
Mm.
And
But
so
basically,
It's because it's sheep.
Brexit has become a poison chalice. It really has.
absolutely.
Theresa May, failed to get Brexit sorted. Boris Johnson got us out of the EU, but at what cost? And he made a pig's ear of it. And as I just said, the Northern Ireland Protocol is a tire fire.
Scotland.
Who doesn't love the smell of a good tire fire?
and so it'd be interesting to see how either Rishi Sunak or Liz Truss deal with it. And the interesting thing is that the European Research Commission, I think the group, the European Research Group, who was a group of Tory backbenchers who basically control things behind the scenes. They're the ones who got Boris Johnson into power, and they have gotten behind. They are backing Liz Truss, even though she used to be a Remainer.
Well, that's how you know she's poison.
Where 3 days ago they were trashing her because it looked like Rishi was just running away with it, and now I woke up and I was like, "What happened?" I felt like I was in a different universe. I'm like, "She's what?"
Now you know why you can't sleep.
but
What is going to happen in UK if Scotland punches out and jumps out the door?
Union dissolved.
That's a good question. Okay, well, we don't know. It's unprecedented.
I mean, it would seem to me that in Scotland, which is clearly seems to be the largest square footage of area in the whole UK, including England. If they break away, it's like pretty much, well, you've got these little crumbs over here that we call London and stuff. How could they even think that they would be able to hang on to Ireland and well, even Wales? Why wouldn't Wales break away too?
Well, it'll be the one of the most populous islands on Earth with a bunch of nukes. So because the one thing that the UK still makes is arms, and so regardless, they'll be one well-armed, tiny little country.
Yeah, but it'll become Little England.
Yeah, I asked that question last week because it's just weird to me. Like, what would really happen if the Union dissolved?
I don't know. But I think it's inevitable. I think it's inevitable that Scotland will leave. They just today or yesterday, I think it was, they persuaded the High Court to look at their case of challenging the government on whether or not they can hold a second referendum.
How can you stop that though?
Well, the thing is, the way the rules have been written, Scotland needs to seek permission from the government, from Westminster to have another referendum, and of course the Tories are never going to give them permission.
So they have to ask to be free. May I be free, sir?
Yeah. So the plan B is to challenge the government in court, which is the route that they're currently taking.
It just seems insane, But as an American, like if people talk about succession, but they don't even realize that at this point succession is impossible and illegal.
Secession.
Well, see, but
it's my accent.
It was the last time too, and they still did it.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Jenny. I'm not discounting history, but like there's precedence to this SHIT, So as an American, I'm not advocating succession. I'm just saying
tradition.
About Will, you're much smarter than I am about England and stuff. Would you see the American dynamic of secession pretty much the same as the dangers of splitting the UK?
No, because they don't. They're not. They're more willing to get in a fist fight than we are, so they're not going to shoot each other. It'll be banged out in court and not on the streets. Like in America, in America, we take it out on each other.
We like to bang in the streets.
Yeah. in the UK, they're just gonna sue the holy shit out of each other, and that's why the government's stopping it right now, because they know they're gonna lose.
I just think it's fun. I mean, what exactly would be the course of action in return? Look, we're kind of gonna leave. I know that you had this protocol you wanted to follow, but we're just kind of, we're just gonna fucking go. We're just gonna go. And everything that you think that you want from now on, I'm sorry, we're not paying attention because we're not a part of this relationship anymore. Look, so you pushed it, and now I gotta go.
Yeah.
You don't get to continue to abuse me by forcing me to sign paperwork to that effect. I'm just gonna get the fuck out of here, and you can come get me.
Yeah, but who's ready to see a teenage Liz Truss?
Oh, I am.
This is interesting. This was footage from when I think she was 18 or 19.
Oh my gosh!
I
want to see this.
She used to be in the Lib Dems.
Of course.
So this
she
is
was
footage
18.
from one of their conferences where she was speaking about abolishing the monarchy.
We Liberal Democrats believe in opportunity for all.
A 30-year political journey for Liz Truss, from Lib Dem anti-monarchist.
I was being interviewed by Newsnight earlier this afternoon.
Oh, well, congratulations.
And we were filmed asking members of the public what they thought about the monarchy. We came across a group of 3 people. I'd say they were around 50, 60, look fairly middle class, rather smart, in fact, rather reactionary, to be perfectly frank. We asked them their opinion of the monarchy. Do you know what they said? They said, abolish them. We've had enough.
The monarchy is of them. Come on.
So
Grammar!
She was fairly well spoken. How old was she in that? Do you know?
I think 18, I think.
Oh, well,
19
that
or younger.
if she was like 15, I'd be more impressed. 18, yeah, she should be able to talk that way.
She's got kind of a Clinton thing going on.
She was very well coached.
Oh, 19 it says here.
She's people that make it this far in the UK went to the best schools, had the best people behind them. Like
I said, she's got kind of a Hillary thing going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
true.
She was cosplaying Hillary in those days.
Well, Rishi should just grab this video and play it over and over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what he's
I
going
think
to
the best
do.
way to get it off the air is to masturbate to it.
But there you go. Teenage Liz Truss arguing for the monarchy to be abolished. How things have changed.
Have you seen what she looks like now, though? She is. I wouldn't kick her out of the bed for eating cookies.
Why
Or
else?
leaving crumbs. Liz
Why
Truss
else would she be there?
to have a good time with me and Kay Burley.
See, then now you blew it.
Oh no! Now we're talking about world leaders. We would fuck. Oh,
that was the Cliff Clavin comment, and mine was the Norm comment back.
That's why I made the full body comment. I saw her and I was like, well, if she didn't talk, I'd do her.
Yeah.
You know? It's about me all the time.
Well, the one thing we said is that her hair is obviously not being dyed or being bleached blonde by the sun. The way that's happening.
She's very well kept. She's at the house doing kegels.
She's
and
very
sit-ups.
white. She's very white. She
she
is,
crushed a watermelon.
yeah.
Well,
she
to
is,
be
she is
fair-
slicing her chili with dried bread.
To be fair, the sun doesn't shine up there too often, you know.
It shines more often than that.
Oh, speaking of which, have you seen Elon the pictures of Elon Musk?
Yes, he's whiter than I am. I know. I took my shirt off today and I went outside just kind of test the, my retinas, and it's true. I am really fucking white, but I am not capable of that white. And I have nipples that somehow show up. What the fuck happened to the man's name? He's so white, he blew out the fucking sensors on that camera so much that he doesn't even have nipples. He's a fucking alien. He's like, goddamn nipple is alien.
My good
Or he's
friend
breast cancer survivor.
Conan O'Brien said he tweeted out, I think Elon Musk is not that pale at all. He's basically saying like I'm the same color.
I love Conan.
I like the meme that was going around Twitter yesterday of the picture of Elon and right below it a picture of Casper the ghost. And just a question, who wore it better?
I saw that. Yeah,
I'm so glad. I wanted to say it, but I didn't know if that was mean.
I tried very hard to not say anything about his body type, even though I found it a little bit disturbing and I had some questions. But the color was just corpse. It's just nothing about that didn't say white corpse.
Yeah.
You know, I look like death if I don't go out in the sun. I lose a couple shades. You know, we all
You
need
don't turn into
vitamin
Mike
D.
Pence.
No, But I'm just saying, vitamin D is important.
Yeah, well, it's a
And for the
psych-
non-Hollywood people, that means vitamin D is the sun.
yeah, and don't shove stones up your food.
It is.
No, because where I'm from, when someone says I'm gonna get some vitamin D, they're not talking about the sun.
Yeah, when I
There,
talk
there are
about-
parts of my body that have never seen the sunlight. Okay,
Wow.
because of clothing, and
and-
they're not that white. Just not.
well, some of those places would require bleaching. If I'm
Blue
not
eyes.
mistaken.
I was just shocked when I saw that. I was like, wow, he stays inside a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
See, that's why I make my son go outside. I'm like, nope, go get some sun,
it's
kid.
just-
You know what I'm
it's just-
Mm.
as somebody who has always had a not very good opinion of my body, and have, aside from when I was working landscape crews, never went without a shirt. I'm a white, fat, cis dude in his 50s. Everything about this says that about me. This is the glory of clothing for the rest of you. I'm sparing you all of it.
You know, I'm not. I'm anti.
I wouldn't go to somebody's yacht and take my fucking shirt off.
No, I'm not. I'm not body shaming at all. I just think he's glow in the dark.
Yeah, he's certainly
I have nothing to say about
comfortable.
his body. He's
He's
just
certainly comfortable being that color.
But I,
You know-
I think there's more evidence, if any was needed, that he's actually a reptilian overlord.
At least he wasn't. At least he's not orange. At least what we didn't see was orange from the neck up, orange from the wrist down.
all
Like
right,
a
all right, Mike.
puppet.
I can't say. Is it Raxocal? See, I can't say it.
See, I don't
From
even know
Doctor
what-
Who, the aliens that would wear the skin suits.
Oh,
They were in Sarah Jane too.
like an
Yeah.
Edgar, like
I
an
wouldn't-
Edgar suit.
I'm great movie. Before Will Smith walked around slapping people, before we
Yeah.
knew who he really
God,
was.
I was so mad that he did that because I love him so much.
Oh, I've been saying ever since he slapped Chris Rock, I've always
Yeah,
said,
no, I'm just sick.
I've said that I've broke up with Will Smith. Will
Yeah.
Smith and I have officially broke
Yeah.
up.
I walked out on it. Fucking
Yeah.
but
When I saw the first time I saw Elon after I stopped laughing, my concern was for seriously was for skin cancer and getting burned.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
dude, you have to cover up. Your
I don't
Yeah.
care.
melanoma's begging for us to let
You're,
to be
you're
let
in the sun on water. There's no amount of fucking SPF that's going to save you from skin cancer. Get back inside.
yeah.
Put on
But,
a long sleeve shirt and some gloves. Something. Stop it. You're then again, I'm not going to miss you when you're.
I was
gone,
thinking of
so
sending him a
just do your
parasol.
thing.
I can't comment. I'm brown year round.
Hey, and a
Anyway.
poet.
From bashing the Tories, we're gonna take a look at the Labour Party for
Awesome.
a bit, because the long-awaited Ford report has finally been published. Do you guys know about the Ford report?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We had one too.
And the Ford report was basically it was a report on these leaks that of how anti-Semitism was used as a factional weapon to undermine Jeremy Corbyn, and how certain members of the of the parliamentary party were plotting to undermine him, to undermine his leadership, basically.
It worked.
And but also how there was Islamophobia within the party as well, and
Sorry. Mike, do you think it worked though? Because didn't it work? They got him out. Like, I know
Yeah.
he's still there, but like he was gonna be PM, like he was, or oppositional leader.
But and so it's this confirmed what a lot of us knew already. So he says here, anti-Semitism used as a factional weapon within Labour, says reports. Labour's left and right wings both treated the issue of anti-Semitism as a factional weapon when Jeremy Corbyn was leader, a report says. Martin Ford QC's inquiry finds general toxicity existed between Mr. Corbyn's office and staff at party HQ. And he says the opposing groups used the issue of anti-Semitism as a weapon during their arguments rather than confront the issue.
They would not let it go. That's all
No.
they would talk about on the news. That and Brexit and how anti-Semitism was running rampant through the party.
Yeah.
I just want to say that of all the isms, anti-Semitism is probably the one that I just really don't fucking get. And what I get there two sources that I recognize are just straight up jealousy, and the other one is the Christian affliction of giving a shit about who killed Jesus.
Well,
Yes.
it's also institutionalized racism well, I don't know what you would call it. When I was a kid, it was not, and keep in mind, I grew up around all white kids. It was not rare for someone to call someone a Jew in a derogatory way at all. And I didn't even realize it until I went to junior high, because in my little sheltered corner, I grew up around Jewish people, Catholic people, no one cared. When I was in junior high and high school, that word was used as an insult.
See, that doesn't even make sense.
Yes, they use it for everything. Where I, like I said, I grew up around all white kids. The demographics have changed in California, but when I was younger, it was literally all white kids.
What I do remember is Italian kids being very sensitive about being called Jews, but
it was a big deal where I'm from. But I'm from a semi-affluent place, so there was enough numbers where people. Yeah. There was an opposition, But what I'm saying is, it's.
I didn't grow up around any Jews until one of those until college things. But that's the point of going to college.
I grew up, using the word Jew was the courteous, appropriate thing to say. It was all the other slurs that were the no.
Well, that's where that's where Monty Python kicked in with Keeb, Hook Nose.
Yeah, you don't
Red Sea Pedestrian.
It traumatized me in junior high. Are you kidding me? I was this sheltered, I didn't realize how sheltered I was in junior high, and people were saying these awful things to each other. But like I said, it's institutionalized, and that's the problem.
It's just not a fucking thing around here. And considering how many Germans around here, no offense to any of me.
Have you ever seen the movie America History X?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
If it's basically it's about Edward Norton. Edward Norton's a Nazi. I'm not going to give it away, but you should watch the movie. It's a really good movie. But if you have a dad who sits at the dinner table and spouts anything, you are going to be just like that person. I'm a reflection of my father, but I'm just lucky he wasn't racist.
I am the antithesis of my dad. It is possible to just go the complete other fucking way because you don't respect anything about your dad.
I agree.
And my dad's a perfectly respectable man. Don't get me wrong. I just didn't, as a kid, I didn't give a shit about anything he had to say because he had done enough at that point, and it worked out for me. I'm perfectly happy, and he's lost his mind now. But before that, he was just an angry fucker. And while I might be angry, I'm not angry at people for being what they fucking are, and that's
what bothers me about what they did to Jeremy Corbyn, because that it's an easy out. They say, "Oh, he hates Jewish people. He hates Jewish people," and so someone like me instantly is like, "Oh, he's an anti-Semite. I'm going to completely write him off." When in all actuality, he was being hosed.
Yeah,
they were literally trying to push him out, and it worked.
It's been proved since then that all those allegations against him were completely fabricated.
Mike, do you remember the stories of the people that were on the BBC saying, "Oh yeah, it's the Jews and all this stuff"? I'm gonna go pull up that footage. There was so much coverage and hatred. People claiming they were in the Labor Party, saying awful things.
Yeah,
It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and
Like I said, it worked. And that's the problem when you make allegations against people that are nebulous and idiotic and stupid, is that people cancel them for no reason. When in all actuality, he was just sitting at home having a curry and a beer.
But we could have. I really believe that we could. The Labour Party could have won the 2017 general election if it hadn't have been for the Parliamentary Labour Party, sabotaging Corbyn at every turn, and there was 2 attempted coups against him.
I remember that. God, there's so much has happened, and it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
You have one armed insurrection and kind of forget the rest of recent history.
Was that Jenny?
In America, the Democratic Party is well known for its infighting and factionalization. Each group has its own issues, and so there's always this argument going on about, well, which issues should be our platform and which are the most salient things to take to an election, and so there's infighting, and the Democrats end up losing power because they don't support each other, that they can't have a company line like the Republicans do, and all go after one goal. Is that what the Labour Party's like in UK?
Yeah, they again, unfortunately so. You've got the left side of the party and you've got the right side of the party, and so you've always got this infighting, and but what has happened under Keir Starmer? Keir Starmer has since he's become leader, he's attempted to purge the left side of the party. He took the whip away from Jeremy Corbyn, and he is systematically tried to, basically expel or suspend the left side of the Labour Party, and so now, and not only that, but people on the left have left the Labour Party because they've become disillusioned with the direction that Keir Starmer has taken the Labour Party, and he seems to want to take it back to the days of Tony Blair.
Exactly. And did he or did he not say he wasn't going to stop Brexit if he became Prime Minister?
Yeah, that's the thing. He has said that he's not going to return us to the single market. He's not going to return to the custom union. He's not going to restore freedom of movement. So basically, he's going to continue with Boris Johnson's Brexit.
That's so far right. It's not even funny. Like
that's
a
very bold place to be, Cotton.
Well, so what good is he?
Exactly.
What good is he as the leader of the Labour Party?
And to whom is he good?
But do you think? What about Angela Rayner? And keep in mind, I get crushes on all of these women, and I have the LBC app where I watched her the other day, so I'm not being biased at all.
I'm creepy on all of them.
No, I have a thing for women with accents. I don't know. It gets me in trouble every time.
Say it on Gillian Anderson. It's a much better choice.
Oh, she's hot, dude.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen that picture with her on Twitter laughing about the cactus dildo?
I remember being so disappointed.
She's
I found out that
amazing.
she was happily married. Fuck.
Yeah.
But talking of, I mean, I wouldn't say no to Angela Rayner either. But
see,
we
be fair, we could all do worse.
No, she just has this. Oh, she's hot. She just has this thing about her. And she she's kind of goofy when she talks. I love it, all of it.
Sounds like Sarah Palin from 20 years ago.
Could you share a picture of her?
I don't know what you're talking about either. But
She can distract me by crossing her legs any day.
since I
Oh,
brought
no,
her up, have any of you seen any reasonably close-ups of Sarah Palin lately?
Oh, she looks so bad. But you know what, though? Time has a way of kicking the crap out of all of us.
Beat the shit out of her.
She looked like a Power Ranger when she had that black suit on. She looked terrible.
She didn't look like a Power Ranger. She looked like somebody from the He-Man universe.
Yeah.
Well, she needs to stop dressing like a teenager.
Oh God,
Oh,
yeah.
Angela,
She wore
There
those
she
fucking
is.
skin-tight bell bottoms the other day and a pantsuit. Nice work, Grandma.
She is.
Oh
she is-
gosh. Oh yeah.
She's
this
so
woman is
fiery
quite
red,
attractive.
too. Oh,
Okay, I wouldn't kick her out either.
Yeah, she's got a
she's
little,
hot.
got a little Florence thing going with that long red hair.
She's
I
a-
love redheads. Oh.
Oh, she's gorgeous. And I know she's short too because I saw she was doing a march
No.
and she had on Skechers that were like this big. And I'm like, oh,
Oh,
she's
the big
short,
fucking
too.
rollers.
Oh my gosh, little.
You can't even buy those in the United States because they're too dangerous. Insurance companies won't let you own them.
I noticed that because I wear what I call my William Shatners, my cowboy boots.
That's awesome.
They give me the illusion of height.
Do you remember when he put out the fire at the studio, Columbia Studios?
When did they not stop talking?
See, nobody outside of LA knows that fucking story even happened.
When did they not stop talking about? how
Nobody
famous
outside
he is?
LA knows that ever happened.
What?
Anyway, we've got one more story. Are you guys ready for this?
Absolutely.
This will put a smile on your face.
I've had one the last fucking hour. Dude.
I'm enjoying the air conditioning. This is what I pay all the money for.
Fan blowing like a gas. Oh, I do love this woman.
I went
Women-
off on Twitter
I
on
do.
this.
I do think that my question was valid. By the way, I'm going to ask it again.
Okay, first off, I would like to take a moment out. Maybe she thought she was dogging. Dogging is a UK original that Americans, we just adopted dogging because we're weirdos too. But like dogging
Well,
is a UK.
Gay
Maybe she, was
community's
just-
been doing it for a
maybe she thought she was dogging, you know.
herself.
And she looks terrible for 54.
Yeah, she does. Consider I'm 53. She's 54.
She's
Hey,
lots of wine.
But the first
Yeah.
thing I thought was that's Boris Johnson. He's just put a gender swap app.
There's a lot of self-abuse in
Filter.
that face.
Now, why would is this just a common woman somewhere? Or
Well, she's dressed nice. She can't be that.
She had her boobs out and she was rocking it in the park. Yeah.
okay, well, you know,
My question for anyone who didn't realize that it had ever been asked was: is this a picture of the woman that caught her doing it, or of the woman that was caught doing it? Because
Well,
I expected a different face on the woman that was caught doing it.
well, we all look crazy when we get caught. That's
I
not.
expected her to look a little bit sweaty, if nothing else.
Oh,
Oh
that-
dear.
I
that
think
is
they should
absolutely-
make that kind of stuff legal in certain areas. You know, if you're willing to strip down and do the sex in the dirt somewhere, you know, you should get a reward for that.
Yeah, I
So-
think if somebody's got to go out of their way to catch you doing it, you get a pass.
Okay, so in
You
certain
tried.
countries, they're less sexually repressed. So, like in Germany, you can go to the park and lay out butt naked.
Hmm.
In America, you go to jail for that stuff. So we're very repressed, and I'm
Germany
sure the
makes a
UK
lot of fisting porn.
Mm.
anywhere where there's dogging, you're repressed.
But she
Again,
did it
I
out-
fall back to my gay men comment.
But not only did she do this in broad daylight, she did it outside Waitrose.
What the hell is wrong?
Yeah, what is
What?
Waitrose? Because we don't know.
Waitrose is a grocery store,
Oh,
but
I know.
it's a grocery store for posh people.
Okay,
It's a grocery
Oh,
store
Whole
for the
Foods.
wealthy.
it's Whole Foods.
I am.
I can't
it-
stand Whole Foods. They just charge you more for walking in. I don't.
Yeah, that's why they call it whole paycheck.
We had a
Oh.
whole we had a Whole Foods come up in my neighborhood. Used to be a little grocery store with a little parking lot, and then they bought the store and put a fucking parking lot on the roof of the fucking place. It was cool as shit. You go there just so you can park on the roof of the place. And the coffee's good, and the meat's really good.
I want to know, did she catch anybody? Did she catch any fish? She had her
Was she-
fishing
was
pole
she-
out.
Was she in a parking lot? Was she sitting on a bench? I didn't read the story because like I got all the story I wanted out of that person's face.
She caught a charge.
Well, I assume that's
So-
not her dad walking her out.
This
No,
is
did
the,
she
this-
was she arrested and all that kind of stuff? And has she gone through?
But,
her trial, or-
well, it says here, a 54-year-old woman exposed her breasts and pleasured herself as she sat on a bench in broad daylight outside a supermarket, a court heard. Beverly Dean was spotted performing the sex act on herself by 2 office workers. Eyewitnesses saw her touch her genitals under her skirt as she sat on the riverbank near the Waitrose store in Northwich in Cheshire.
Okay, so she'd gone to the trouble of going to a riverbank and finding a bench.
Did
Yeah.
she leave a mess on the bench?
Well,
she was dogging, and those little rats called the cops.
sadly,
Those
she
people-
wasn't able to stay on the bench. She split off.
I am anti-rat. Those little rats called the cops.
Yeah, some fucking Karen got involved.
Shouldn't solo dogging be called puppying? Or?
You just
Yeah.
invented it. Patent
But,
pending. Patent pending.
When police were called to the scene, officers discovered sex toys and lubricant in her handbag.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, I thought they were gonna say in her hand.
She was ready to go. She thought about this one.
Yeah. Well,
Said,
this,
"I'm gonna go to
wasn't,
the
this
park."
was not this woman's first rodeo.
She said, I'm gonna go to the park and I'm gonna rub one out at the park today.
She
you
got
know
caught
what? Honestly,
getting started, not when she was finishing.
oh, this is the group chat online. Online.
I'm
She's-
I'm just guessing. Again, based on the picture, she does anal to herself because
I'm just trying to think of the logistics, the personal logistics of doing that in a park on a bench. It would be
Well, she's probably still
awkward
flexible
place
for
to be.
54.
Well, it's just like home, except there's a weird breeze and the furniture's uncomfortable.
Here's
Well,
my
no,
deal.
sex
though.
toys don't fit very well when you're sitting down. It's just
She's
I
probably
had,
really good.
Oh,
She's
God.
probably
I
really
had a neighbor that
flexible.
would. Never mind.
Here's my deal, though. Okay, I am pro flicking the bean. So if you want to flick
Oh, yeah.
your bean in public, I'll be your lawyer. We'll all lose, but I will be your lawyer.
pictures
I
are
know I know we're not.
Maybe not tits out and bean out. Maybe
See, but in California, you can legally, like in San Francisco and Los Angeles, you can sit at a restaurant with your boobs out.
Well, I think women should be allowed to go topless. Don't get me wrong. It's not my sensibilities that are being offended.
And like, I'm gonna tell you the honest truth, my nipples are so large they're obscene. If I took my shirt off, I'd probably get a charge in the UK.
Wait,
So, like,
are we talking Farrah Fawcett midget fists or what are we talking?
full moon.
Oh,
they're
you
dark,
mean like
yeah.
pancake or
Oh yeah, and they're dark. Like they're darker than me. They're purple. They're so dark.
So you have the areolas of a woman
Yeah.
who has given
do.
birth and
Oh,
I don't know why.
silver dollar pancake.
On that bombshell.
Just to but just to clarify, she's going to do jail time for this, apparently, according to the article.
Well, that seems a
Oh,
bit much.
She's gonna-
that's
she's gonna do
ridiculous.
prison time.
Although, who could do better with more time on their hands? Than
So
she?
dogging's illegal in the UK.
yes, because it's
It's-
indecent
Yeah.
exposure, and it comes under the Indecent Exposure Act, I think.
I don't
Yeah.
think any of that should exist unless you can actually say, I was with my child pointed it out to me. Okay. But if it's just
Yeah.
fucking adults, shut the fuck up. Go away.
Exactly. I grew up in Milwaukee, and there used to be this portion of the lakefront where you could easily go back there and fuck your little brains out, and nobody's going to see you. But the cops would still arrest people there.
Yeah, there's
it's
not
like, wait, a
far
minute,
from
you
here,
got to go
but-
down a hill, walk 100 yards, go around some bushes, and then you got a place to fuck. Nobody's going to see you unless you're right on the lakeshore in the water.
Yeah.
You know what's really funny here in LA is the exact opposite. They just tell you to break it up and go home. That's about it.
Shoot you. They just spray you down with a hose like Mommy
Yeah.
used to do.
No, it's weird though. Like by my house, there's an open air place where people go walking, and there's all these trails. There is a spot where it's a known dogging area. People just don't go over there. You know, like I don't know. It's weird.
Mm.
Flick the bean for Jesus. That's right, Stool. Flick the bean. I'm pro flicking the bean. And maybe maybe she needed an irregular tan.
Well, she
We don't
needed-
know her concern.
Hey, she could certainly stand some vitamin D.
See, I told you it works. See, it works.
See, it was a double entendre.
It
that you
works.
Both use the vitamin D and the
Yeah.
vitamin D. That's
Because but to be fair, let's be real. In America, if you did that, and if I did that in front of my grocery store, I would get beat up and arrested.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
And she'd just get her picture took.
but I don't think that's an offense worth jail time. You know,
Fuck
If
no,
you-
it isn't.
No.
prosecute them, fine.
Again,
Yeah, a fine, a fine.
But again, it's really
Yeah.
conservative places because you can lay naked in Germany. PDA, public displays of affection, are illegal in Mexico. So the cops
What?
don't necessarily enforce it, but if you're making out with someone, if you're hot and heavy, you can get arrested because it's a Catholic country.
That's very Catholic.
You know, so it just
Yeah.
and that's what the UK is reminding me of. Like, that's BS.
Yeah.
They have-
The countries south of us who just legalized abortion.
Yeah, PDA
Yeah,
is
exactly.
illegal. They're so
The
conservative.
one with government health care and legal abortion, that horrible country that
Yeah.
they just agreed to spend $1.8 billion on border security with the United States. Just
Oh yeah, I lived in
it's
Sinaloa.
so weird to not have a president that says you're going to pay for this, and they go, no, we're not. And
Yeah.
then you have a president that comes in and says, here's the thing that we would like for the two of us to get involved in, and then they say, oh, all right.
Yeah.
It just depends. I guess it depends on where you live. And like I said, I live in Lefty Land, and you still couldn't get away with that here. So we're not necessarily the most open-minded people here. And
Yeah, and I
the
don't
weird-
think the world should be West Hollywood either.
but see,
Yeah.
here's the thing, though. Like in West Hollywood and San Francisco, you can walk around with your boobs out
Yeah.
because equality. Because
Yeah.
equality. But if I
Yeah.
did that on the west side, I would go to jail. You know,
Well,
so
Or on the other side.
Yeah. And on that bombshell, we're going to say goodnight.
I'm going to hold your hand while we walk the streets of LA.
Yeah.
And
And,
you're going to be topless, and so am I. And my tits are way bigger than yours, but your areolas are going to make everybody look at your smiling tits.
oh, they're obscene. They are.
Oh, these are.
When I go to the beach, people look at me. I don't care. I'm shameless. I am so shameless. I don't care.
You're not going to beat
I'm
you.
top heavy.
You guys kiss.
So-
That didn't laugh at you.
Jenny, thanks for joining us.
Oh, I had a blast. I'm really glad I came.
I am
And,
too.
But thanks to my regular co-hosts, Brain Sample and Will.
That's really just Will.
and-
I'm the irregular.
And thanks again to everyone in the side chat as well.
We're
And,
taking a summer break. You forgot to mention that in the open.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, thanks for reminding. And we're taking a summer break. Just as Parliament is breaking for recess, so are we.
One of us
Uh,
has kids.
School starts actually in like 2 weeks. You know what's so sad? I'm more depressed that school starting than my son is. I'm like, I love summer. I love summer.
Mm.
You know
But,
you live in LA, right?
We'll be back in. All things being equal, we'll be back the first week of September.
Awesome.
So look out, look out for the notifications and press the bell and subscribe, etc., etc. And bye for now.
Are you
Rock out
going
with your clock
to
on.
replay repeats?
No, no, no.